Hey guys, it's Dr. Dragonite, and welcome to episode 2 of Runescape Rambles. Today we're going to talk about the Last Man Standing tournament for Prime Gaming and kind of how they're trying to reach out to newer players. So if you haven't read the Gillinor Gazette, you'll get to a section where it talks about Prime Gaming and Old School. Basically, all it says is that they want to reach out to more players, and to do that, they're going to have a Last Man Standing tournament. They do a couple roadmaps. They're basically going to give out some free membership on specific days. September 15th to October 13th, you can claim 7 days of free membership. It's shorter than the 14 days. That way, their bot detection system can stop bots from hopefully making some real progress and damaging the game. They're going to do another 7-day membership later, there will be a month gap, and then you'll be able to claim another 7 days. This is the second half of that normal 14 days of Prime Gaming membership. It's not important other than the fact that it's just something they're continuing to try and do to reach out to new players, and I think it's a good idea. Shorten the amount of membership time people get for claiming Prime membership or whatever. Sounds great. On October 13th, when the first 7 days of membership ends, a tournament's going to start. And what you got to do in that tournament is play RuneScape. That sounds like an awesome idea for new players. You got to play RuneScape to be part of the tournament. So, not really sure how that's going to bring in new players exactly. It wasn't explained, but basically you go play as many Last Man Standing games as possible between October 13th and November 10th, claim your 7 days of free Prime or something along those lines, and whoever the top 24 players who have gotten the most wins in the high stakes Last Man Standing are going to be invited to play in a tournament. Well, that's awesome, but new players aren't going to be playing Last Man Standing. Like, you don't go into RuneScape and instantly go to Last Man Standing as the first thing you do in the game. If you do, it's because somebody went there for you on your computer and was like, here, try this. So, I'm not exactly sure how they plan to bring in new players with that. Maybe it's just like a viewable event saying, hey, if you participate in our PvP and get good enough, maybe you can get into some of these kind of things for small prizes or whatever. Who knows? It doesn't sound like a very productive idea to me, but maybe we can think of something else. Why don't they come out with a content creator tournament? Let's say they have 100 times XP and they have 1 hour to try and beat the hardest boss that they can in the game with 100 times drops and 100 times XP or something. And so you watch these guys run around playing the game with 100 times XP as efficiently as possible, and then whoever kills whatever is determined to be the hardest boss in a boss tier list will end up winning or something. Like, if someone can get to the Inferno and beat it, which would never happen, but it's 100 times XP, and people come up with crazy ideas, like make some kind of reward membership drop from watching the tournament for an hour. Get new players in that way. The Twitch Prime Gaming tournament doesn't really make sense on why you have to have Twitch Prime Gaming to enter while having to play RuneScape. That's not gonna get people to, new players aren't gonna say, oh, this game's having a tournament on high level complicated content that I've never played before. I'm gonna go create a account, go to this area where I have to spend a week trying to qualify or whatever, and nobody's gonna join the game and do that. It's really so that other people who already play the game have a little bit more enjoyment out of it, and they kind of go over that. They're focusing less on the rewards and more on giving people experiences, and that's something that's good about the game, but it's not what's gonna get new players to join. So I hope we can come up with a better idea than trying to get new players to join from a Last Man Standing tournament, because PvP is not what the game is focused on. And attracting new players just by giving out free membership doesn't tell them anything about what the game's about. And there's definitely more creative ideas, like the 100 times XP. Put in 50 content creators on a private server that's kind of like leagues. You can go give them their own league, to just make it like a miniature league for an hour or something, where you set up a server, 100 times XP, 100 times drop rates. So Dragon Warhammers are dropped in like 50 kills instead of one every 5,000 or whatever. Then people have to figure out, how do I get a blowpipe? Blowpipes are 1 in 5 now. I have to do 15 Zora, but I only have an hour to build my account and get gear and stuff. Like, Slayer's probably not going to be an option, so you're probably not going to get a trident or anything. What are you going to do for beating high level bosses? Maybe you unlock all the quests for people and give them 99 Slayers so they don't get stuck or something. But there's so many other ideas to bring in new players than just handing out free membership to something that a lot of people don't even consider playing, because the game looks old, but they don't understand that it's super complicated and there's so many more intricate mechanics. And it's not just like smashing abilities like any other game. It's knowing a mechanic to dodge without having an ability itself to dodge an attack. Like, there's nothing that can move you other than your mouse clicking. So people don't understand that the game's hard in its own way and has its own challenges and doesn't focus on PvP a whole bunch like other games. And they really present it like this like basic PvP game to the general public, and it's really not. It's not a PvP game at all. It's a progression game, and it's not that that's a bad thing. It's just that that's the way RuneScape was built as a game. It wasn't built up as the final thing to do in the game is fight in big wars against other people or anything like that. The game was never intended to be completed. It was you always have something to progress to, and there's always something to try and collect and get, and PvP is just one aspect of the game that a small portion of players interact with. Everybody pretty much has to at some point interact with PvP, but it's not the focus of the game. And I think that's where Jagex is going wrong with these things, is they're trying to focus the entire game around PvP because they've neglected it for so long. And really the problem is that a lot of people don't want a PvP, they want to progress, and a lot of progression is not shown in their promotions. They don't show people progress and like get excited over a drop. Like, they might as well just make a highlight video and be like, oh my gosh, look at all the awesomeness you can have with your friends if you get drops like all these people did on Twitch or whatever. So one thing they could do is they could make some kind of like promotion video and that highlights all these exciting moments that players have and stuff. And if you watch this promotion, let's say on Twitch with Twitch Prime Gaming, and you have a Twitch Prime Gaming account you're watching with that's connected to your RuneScape account or whatever, linked, then you could possibly maybe, like, let's say, get some free membership for watching this like 20-minute promotion about them talking about how progression shapes like the players and how one drop could change your entire gameplay experience, and then say, if you want to try our game, here's 7 days of membership. Make some promotion videos with those like free membership trials where you watch a 45-minute video or something promoting the game, maybe on the side of your screen or something. Who knows how people will do it, but then once you've watched that video, you can claim 7 days of membership. There's no reason to make a tournament that's all around there talking about trying to bring in new players when the tournament's really for older players. It eliminates a portion of their player base who like to PvP but don't have Prime membership, and the people who have Prime membership and don't like to PvP aren't going to do it anyways. And so it really just eliminates a portion of their player base from being able to participate in a promotional tournament type thing like this, who would like to play, but they may not want to spend the extra money necessarily, or they don't want to link their Prime account to RuneScape or whatever. It wasn't very thought out, but they could do a lot of other things. Maybe leagues takes dev power, and dev power is money, so you have to make a Twitch Prime sponsored league. There's a lot of other things they can do, and hopefully they come up with some ideas for Twitch Prime gaming that include the majority of their player base instead of a smaller portion. If you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments down below. Make sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this episode of RuneScape Rambles, and I'll see you in the next episode.